Welcome everybody to Max Tutorials. Thank you for coming here and visiting, and I hope I can help you on some percents. This is version C, meaning I have a version A and a version B that accompanies the video that I made on how to do percents. If you haven't found those, you can find them either on the playlist you're looking at right now on YouTube, or you can go to maxtutorials.com, and that's also where you can find this sheet. Download the sheet, try these on your own, and then just take a look at the videos on any ones that you got wrong. Okay. And also, if you could like and subscribe to this video, I'd really appreciate it. It helps me. It helps me to help you. Okay. So let's turn this into algebra. What does the word what mean? It means X. What does the word is mean? Equals. What does the word 15% mean? Well, we have to express that as math. We're going to move it over twice whenever we want to express it as math. Of means times, and 200 means 200. Now I've got a handy dandy calculator here that we're going to use, and I am going to punch in some numbers that say 200 times 0.15, and that's going to equal 30. Okay? Just write 0.15 times 200 in your calculator. Number two, what is x? Is equal. How do we write 80%? Go twice. We're just going to write 0.8. You don't need the zero. Of means times, and 55 means 55. So I'm going to go 55 times 0.8, and I'm going to get 44. Do a sanity check. What is 80? Well, 80% of something is almost all of it. It's just a little less, right? So is 44 a little less than 55? Sure. Okay. Is that an exact science? No, but it makes sense. It's always good to look at that. 24 is equals what percent x of times 96 or 24 equals 96x. To solve, I'm going to divide each side by 96. And when you're doing percent, you're often going to do division with the smaller number on the with the smaller number on top, the bigger number on bottom, because that's going to give you a decimal answer, which is usually what you'd like to see. Okay, so if I go 24 divided by 96, I'm going to get 0.25. Now that's the math answer, but they want to know the percent answer, so we have to change that to 25%. Okay? Number four, 14 is what percent of 56? Another way to write that is just 56x. Once I divide each side by 56, boom die, x equals 14 divided by 56, which equals, again, 0.25, but to express it as a percent, we want to write 25%. Okay, let's keep going on now. What number x is equals 65%? What's the math version of that? 0.65. Of means times, and 40 means 40. Okay, so if I go 0.65 times 40, I'm going to get a 26. Okay, 65% is a little more than half of something. Is 26 a little more than half of 40? Sure, it is. It makes sense as an answer. What number is 10% of 50? Well, you know what? Let's not do the math on this. When it's a 10%, you're just moving a decimal over once. So I could tell you right now the answer is 50. Okay, let's talk about that. What is 10% of 60? The answer is 6. What's 10% of 54? The answer is 5.4. So whenever you're looking to take 10% of anything, you just make a number smaller by one decimal. And that's how you can always do it in your head. So whenever you're like looking at a sale and it says, what's 10% off? Well, what's 10% off of $30? It's $3. Now, what if it's 10% off? I'm sorry, I'm tangenting right now, but let's just go with it. It's 10% off $30. Sorry, 10% of off the $30 is $3, right? So what if it said 30% off? What would 30% off of a $30 item be? Well, here's what I do. I take 10% of that. 10% is 3. That I can do in my head. That's fine. And then I go, well, 30% would be whatever 10% is times 3, right? So if 10% is 3, what's 30%? 9. Okay, so there's a way you can do it in your head when you're at a grocery store and just trying to figure some things out. All right, let's write 64% as a decimal. Well, if you're doing that, you're just making the number small by 2 decimals. That's just a 0.64. Number 8, how do I write 0.91 as a percent? Well, 0.91 is the math, so we want to make it bigger. Oh dear, I hit a wrong button. Okay, that's just going to be 91%. Let's go on to number 9. Write 175 as a decimal. Well, there's the decimal right now, but I need to make it smaller by 2. The math is always smaller than the percent. 1.75 is your answer. And number 10, let's write 0.4 as a percent. Well, 0.4, let's just write some zeros. Okay, we move it over twice. 1, 2. Whoa, this is doing something really weird. What happened? 1, 2. And if you notice, if I put it there, that's going to turn into a 40%. So 0.4 is a 40%. All right, number 11. What x is equals 22%, 0.22 of times 150? 0.22 times 150, when you plug in your calculator, gives you a 33. Okay? 9 is what percent of 36? Okay, well, I can tell right now that 9 is 1/4 of this. Okay, because I know 9 times 4 is 36. So I can tell you right now the answer is going to be 25%. When you put in your calculator, sure enough, you're going to get that. But you have to express it as a percent. So you're going to write 25%. Okay, I may have to make some different versions with some crazier numbers. Write 5.5 as a decimal. Well, remember, percents, you want to make them smaller. So I go 1, but guess what? You need another 1 because you got to go twice. So it's 0.055. Okay, and the last one, write this one as a percent. We need to make that bigger, so we're going to go this way too, and it's 108%. I hope this helped you with some of your percent problems. Okay, it should have answered some questions for you. And if so, yay. And I'll see you guys on the next section. You guys are doing great.